Well, it's the weekend, and we all know what that means. It means Michael Snyder is here. Hello, Michael. How are you?
Hi, Alex. I'm back, and I'm bad. Well, I'm as good as I want to be.
Yeah.
And calling from Los Angeles, the entertainment capital, and I got a few film reviews and such. How you been?
I've been fine, as usual.
Yeah, that's good. It's this coast-to-coast stuff is so exciting. Oh, the electronic marvels of the 21st century. But all that aside, we better get rolling because you hate to lose the connection. New movies, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, The Fast and the Furious has spawned a sequel after sequel after sequel, and we're up to the seventh. And, sometimes real life gets in the way of show business with the whole spectrum of possible results. And in the case of the film Furious 7, that's what they're calling it, the latest in this car racing and crime-fighting franchise, the untimely death of one of the series' leads, Paul Walker, in a car crash, for Christ's sakes, gives the film much more emotional power than it has any right to have. And it's also really helped action-wise by the presence of Dwayne Johnson in his The Rock mode as a near-invulnerable international super cop. He has been in the series before in the same role. And Jason Statham as a near-invulnerable killer and international creep who is out to avenge his brother's capture and crippling injuries which were due to the events of the previous film. Now, these guys really know how to fight, and they really know how to do fight choreography. Johnson had his WWE career, and Statham's done a zillion action films where he's done his own stunts. And otherwise, it's fast cars, international locales, outrageous set pieces, Vin Diesel grunting, Michelle Rodriguez emoting, Paul Walker strutting. You've got Jimon Hansu glowering. You've got the addition of Tony Jaa, a great Muay Thai fighter and Asian actor, although he's sort of, they don't use him enough, let's put it that way. I wish they had used him more. And Kurt Russell as a Black Ops superhero type. And it's great to see Kurt Russell. It's great to see Snake Plissken in an action film. Other than that, it's just business as usual. It's awfully long. And it also has this strange emotional power because of what we know about the real life circumstances of Paul Walker. In this franchise, it's quite good. It's right up there with some of the other better movies that they've done. But let's face it, it's still forgettable, chewing gum for the mind, a popcorn movie, a great bargain matinee. But, it's as you like it. Woman in Gold is a drama based on the real life circumstances of a woman named Maria Altman, who was an elderly Jewish woman who fled Vienna during World War II and in the current day tries to retrieve her family art and possessions that were stolen by the Nazis. And among them are Gustav Klimt's famous painting, Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer, who was this woman's aunt. So she hooks up with a lawyer who is not, top notch, but very devoted, and tries to get her stuff back from the Austrian government, who is now showing the Klimt painting in a museum, and they don't want to give it up. He's so important to their memory. So you get the advantage of having Dame Helen Mirren play this woman, Maria Altman. Ryan Reynolds, not bad at all, as the comparatively young lawyer. And you also get, which was a treat for me, the presence of an actress I like very much, Tatiana Maslany, playing the young Helen Mirren character, and a bunch of good German actors and Katie Holmes. It's just a little dry. I wished it had been better. It's a really amazing true story, but I found it just, like they had bleached the life out of it, and the actors were doing their very best to give it a little bit of gravitas. Anyway, it's a cool story. It seems like a TV movie with a lot of money behind it, but Woman in Gold means well, a story worth hearing about. I just wish it had been better executed. True life stories can really be exciting, whether they're historically based or whether they're about artists and their work. Lambert and Stamp is one such exciting documentary, and it's all about a couple of guys who wanted to make movies in swinging London in the 60s. Chris Stamp and Kit Lambert, one kind of a guy from a working class circumstance, the other from posh circumstances, and they end up hiring The Who, a band that was just getting going, to be in their underground movie, and they eventually become the managers and producers of The Who. And this is really a cool film. And you get voiceovers, you get vintage clips, some of which are very, very rare, of the band starting. You get a lot about the life stories and the friendship between these two very mismatched guys, one gay, one straight, both of them devoted to one another as friends and to making The Who the biggest band in the world. I really love this film.
I'm looking forward to it because I knew both of them. In fact, so much so that you know that Who poster I have?
Yeah.
If you went on the back of it, it's signed by Kit Lambert and Chris Stamp.
Amazing. Great. This is
and Peter Townsend as well.
Have you seen this thing yet?
No.
I think you should, and I'd be interested to hear what you think of it. I thought it was pretty cool.
What's it called again?
Sorry?
What's it called again?
Lambert and Stamp.
Lambert and Stamp. Okay.
And very, very cool. A much better buddy picture than Get Hard. Do you remember that Rob Schneider film, Big Stand? Maybe his best movie about a weaselly real estate con artist who gets busted by the cops and is going to go to jail. So he hires a guru to teach him martial arts in order to survive jail and the potential sexual assault. He's a little guy. And in that movie, Rob Schneider teams up with, of all people, David Carradine, who is basically making fun of his kung fu character. And I thought it was a lot of fun and it had a lot of heart. Get Hard is the exact same idea, only with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart as a convicted investment banker who is afraid of getting sexually assaulted in prison. So he hires his black car detailer to teach him how to survive because he assumes, oh, look, he's kind of a working class African-American. He must have been in jail. So there are some amusing moments here, but ultimately a lot of racist and sexist vibe going down here, and obviously homophobia and just all manner of lowbrow jokes. And it just wasn't funny enough. And wow, get an original premise, why don't you? On the upside, I'm not watching it any longer. More like Get Out of Here than Get Hard. While We're Young, on the other hand, is one of my favorite films of the year so far, about an unlikely friendship developing between two sets of couples, cross-generational comedy of manners, and about getting older and about career difficulties and frustration in relationships, about what happens when you're a little too ambitious or not ambitious enough, and also all about the price of success. It's directed by Noah Baumbach of The Squid and The Whale, and more recently Francis Ha. And it stars Ben Stiller in one of his best performances and probably one of the better films he's done, and Naomi Watts as a couple of aging but arty New York types who are childless, and they're in a relationship rut. And then they meet Adam Driver and Amanda Seyfried, who play young, kind of feckless Brooklyn hipsters, carefree, full of the vitality and arrogance of youth. And these couples are both pretty pretentious, but they meet and become attached to one another, and especially the Stiller and Driver characters. And it's to the discomfort of all of the Stiller and Watts characters' friends, who are all 40-somethings. They're all baby crazy. And what are these people doing hanging out with this young couple? Anyway, Stiller's Josh is a struggling and once briefly successful documentary filmmaker whose father-in-law is played by Charles Grodin. And that guy is a renowned award-winning documentarian who intimidates and infuriates Josh. And then Driver's character comes along, aspiring to be a great filmmaker, says he's Josh's biggest fan, but there seems to be an agenda afoot. It's pretty witty. It gets uncomfortable. And unlike Francis Ha, which is kind of about an aimless, moderately bright New York hipster girl who stumbles through life, well played by Greta Gerwig, this is deeper, more multi-layered. It's about people with much more on the line and time slipping away from them. I really liked While We're Young, big time. So big recommendation. Wish I had been as excited about Serena, which reteams Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper, who first acted opposite one another in Silver Linings Playbook, to great results. And here they co-star in a period drama about newlyweds who begin to build a timber empire in the late 1920s. This is beautifully shot, very well cast, and very well acted, but kind of knee-jerk in the third act. Their marriage goes through many trials and strife. Jennifer Lawrence is really wonderful. She can almost do no wrong. She almost makes the Hunger Games watchable for me. She gets beneath the skin of her character and gives her such depth from brightness to darkness. Lovely. And Bradley Cooper is solid, but a little disappointing. It's directed by a Danish director named Suzanne Bier, who was the director of the Oscar-winning In a Better World. This is my least favorite of her films, but it's worth any time you spend just to watch Jennifer Lawrence do her thing. Also, you've got Rhys Ifans and Toby Jones and Sean Harris, three really good British actors in the supporting cast. And you got the beautiful setting. Loved it. The Riot Club is based on a play called Posh, which gets a chance to delve into what is the Oxford University equivalent of the Skull and Bones Society at Yale, meaning very rich and arrogant young men who have banded together and think they can do anything and everything to excess with no consequences. And it starts way back in the day when the club was founded in the era of powdered wigs and such, and accelerates into the modern day and the current Riot Club on a campaign to find new members from the young, newly arrived students at Oxford. And it's, I really love this film. It really hit the Anglophile in me, and it had a really wonderful bunch of actors teamed up here. And it's actually directed by Lone Scherfig, who is another female Danish director, and she's the director behind An Education, which I really thought was a fantastic film. And also, in this case, you have three of my favorite British actresses: Holliday Grainger from The Borgias, also Natalie Dormer from Game of Thrones, and Jessica Brown Finlay from Downton Abbey, and they play significant roles opposite the likes of Freddie Fox, Matthew Beard, Douglas Booth, Max Irons, Sam Claflin. All really wonderful young performers from the UK. I got a kick out of this thing. White God, actually, is a remarkable and kind of genre-bending Hungarian parable about the relationship between humans and animals, and specifically a girl and her dog. This young girl, Lily, is in a youth orchestra in Budapest, and she has a dog that she loves named Hagen, but her father, who has her for a period because she's coming from a broken home, doesn't like the dog, dumps the dog by the side of the road, and it begins an odyssey through various adventures that keep kind of basically beating the dog down and changing its genial personality. And this is an amazing achievement, because they used hundreds of dogs, packs and packs of dogs, to make this film. And there are some very violent moments. It won a certain regard at the Cannes Film Festival. And I got to say, it's sad, funny, and creepy, and smart, and the dogs are amazing. And it's very exciting and very, very original and unlike anything I've seen before. It's how humans abuse animals and what can actually happen in return. Finally, I want to mention The Salt of the Earth, which is a documentary by Wim Wenders, who has done such fantastic films as Wings of Desire. This is about the life and work of photojournalist Sebastião Salgado, who basically chronicled some of the most amazing and devastating and pivotal moments in recent history, including amazing work he did in the oil fields that were aflame during the big Kuwaiti war. And then he sort of got burnt out on that and has been traveling the globe to create a visual record of wild fauna and flora and grandiose landscapes. But beautiful, beautiful film, Salt of the Earth. I, again, highly recommend it. Anything going on in the television front?
Not that I know of. I mean, I think, was Mad Men start this week or something?
Maybe.
I think.
I don't know.
And Game of Thrones is in about a week or something?
Game of Thrones is coming. Orphan Black is coming. There are things on the way.
Yeah. No, I have nothing except to say goodbye.
Well, we'll check back with you next time and have a great weekend.
Tell them where they can find you.
I'm at Culture Blaster on Twitter, and you can check in the Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page on Facebook. Like it, and link up to our various broadcasts and netcasts.
All right. Thank you, Michael. See you next week.
You got it.
And that's it for now. Stay tuned for more wonderful GabNet broadcasting, a tune-in partner.